Hey everyone, welcome to our full product review for the ASUS G701. To start things off, we need to go over the specs of the device. Let's kick it off with the CPU, which is an Intel i7-6820HK. The GPU inside is an NVIDIA GTX 1080 with 8GB of GDDR5X RAM. The memory included is 64GB of DDR4 at 2400 MHz. Storage included is two 512 PCIe M.2 SSDs in RAID 0. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth compatibility is a built-in gigabit Ethernet LAN integrated 802.11 AGN wireless and LAN plus Bluetooth 4.0. Powering the device is a 6-cell smart lithium-ion battery pack with 93 watt-hours and a 330 watt AC adapter. It also has a built-in HD webcam above the 17.3-inch FHD 178-degree wide viewing 120Hz 1920 by 1080 matte type screen with G-Sync. On the left side of the device is the Kensington lock, two USB 3.0 ports, two 2.5 headphone and microphone jacks, and a 3-in-1 card reader. On the right-hand side, there is one USB 3.0 port, one HDMI port, one mini display port, two Type-C 3.1 ports, and an RJ45 Ethernet port. The built-in keyboard is very sturdy with little flex, and the keys themselves have a nice response while typing. The touchpad is pretty large and has a smooth matte finish that makes using it a breeze. The left and right click buttons are separate down below the touchpad, which is a feature I like to see because you can assure yourself that you're clicking on the correct thing with individual buttons. The screen looks great with its 120Hz refresh rate and G-Sync combo. The viewing angles of the monitor are pretty good themselves, and opening up the screen all the way will result in about 140 degrees total. Included with the G701 comes with a user guide, warranty card information, a cleaning cloth, a cable tie-down, and of course it comes with the included power cables too. The weight of the device with the cables is 10.6 pounds, but if you're looking to just carry around the laptop by itself and without the cables, it's 8 pounds. The battery life of the device with the settings for the brightness around 50% and the power saver mode on, you can expect anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours of use time while running basic tasks. And here is a basic test for the built-in webcam and microphone that's included. Next are our fan tests where we see how loud they are while under gaming scenarios. First, we were away from the device and read 46 decibels where you'd normally be sitting. Up in front of the device, we had readings of around 54 decibels. And finally, at the rear of the device where the fans exhaust their heat, we had readings of around 65 decibels. Next up are the thermals of the device while under gaming loads. Looking at the front of the laptop or the face of the keyboard, you can see that heat builds more in the center where the GPU and CPU are centrally located, but the heat luckily doesn't get anywhere near hot enough to make you feel like it's too warm. And then coming around to the back of the device, we had readings where the heat is dispersed out of the rear corners, where the fans disperse all of the hot heat and actually disperses it well as the middle is still very cool. Next, moving on to our benchmarks, we started things off with Firestrike, which scored 16,204, which is better than 93% of all devices that have ran this test, which is a good score. Our next test was Cinebench. First, we ran OpenGL and got 117 FPS. And then for the CPU test, our CB was 830. On the left-hand side, you can see how the CPU stacks up to others. Next, we ran our Crystal Disk score with our SSDs that are in RAID 0. Our read speed was 1418, and our write speed was 1061, which is very quick. Moving on to our real-world testing, we started off with Gears of War 4. We ran it on medium, high, and on ultra, and had readings of 131, 126, and 120 FPS. The GPU's temperature while gaming was at 87, and the CPU's temperature was at 89. Our next test was Grand Theft Auto 5, maxed out with no MSAA and averaged 129 FPS. Next, we did it with the advanced settings and averaged 85 FPS. And then finally, we turned the advanced settings off and turned MSAA on at ×4 and had 114 FPS. The temperatures while playing Grand Theft Auto were at 87 degrees for the GPU and 92 degrees for the CPU. Our third test was Rise of the Tomb Raider. We played it on very high with FXAA, SMAA, and SSAA at ×2. Our FPS numbers were at 119, 112, and 85. The temperature for the GPU was at 87 degrees Celsius, and the CPU's temperature was at 92 degrees Celsius. And for our last test, we ran Dirt Rally on Ultra with MSAA at times 2, 4, and 8, with readings of 144 FPS, 134 FPS, and 123. As for the temperatures while gaming during Dirt, we had the GPU at 87 degrees Celsius and the CPU at 92 degrees Celsius. If you're looking to put a personal touch on your machine, be sure to check out our extensive customization options before checkout, including upgrades available to RAM, storage, cooling, overclocking, custom paint, hydro and graphic wraps, laser etching, and much, much more. If you'd like to take a closer look at some of the specific BIOS menu screens, make sure that you pause the video on any of the ones that you'd like to take a closer look at. If not, be sure to check out the product link down below in the description, or leave us any comments down below if you have a question for us here at Exotic PC. I've been Andrew saying thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for future product overviews and reviews.